How are you getting on, folks? Welcome back to the Irish Racing Hour. I'm your host, Shane Rooney, also known as the Peaky Blogger. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Dean Hegarty and Ryan Sharkey. And as well as that, we have a very, very special guest in today, as always. None other than Skyace owner, Cathal McHugh. Cathal, welcome on board, and thanks again for coming in on such short notice.
Oh, hey, Jane, how are you? How are you, boys? Great to be in. I suppose, I'm only representing the crew, I suppose, with, the big excitement with Skyace. We've had the roller coaster this year. So, it's an honour for me to represent the boys. And, even Shark there, it's great to be on, and we'll have a bit of crack over the next few minutes anyway.
Yeah, well, should look at like that's it. Cathal, I suppose just starting off, just give a brief introduction of your life growing up. I know, look at you're a big GAA man back in the day, and I suppose was horses to the fore of your concentration back then?
Oh no, absolutely not. Football was massive. Trained mad for football. We'd be out farming with my father, and over the years, and he wouldn't get me out unless he had a football out there with me. That we had the sheep or cattle pinned in. I'd be out kicking ball. While he's waiting for me to do the next job. So no, football mad. Played with my club then, St. Bridget's, all the way through. Won a minor then with Roscommon Minors in 2016. The county went to a still for, I suppose, a few weeks. And, as a 17-year-old in Roscommon, that was huge. Like, we didn't have to put our hands in our pockets for a few weeks there in Rockfords in Roscommon there for a while. Then, obviously, moved on then and played a few years with Roscommon Seniors, probably overachieved, didn't have much pace, more of a native river a character in terms of football, just good club player that just gave it everything, and just I played 4 or 5 times championship for Roscommon, but it was probably more through determination. And then we won the All-Ireland Club then with Bridget's in 2013. So yeah, I haven't kicked the ball since the kind of final in 2000 and was it 17? I think I missed 2 21-yard frees, and we lost the curve in an extra time. Who went on to win the All-Ireland. So that's the last time I kicked the football. So yeah, I just get too many injuries, and I suppose that was it. They got into horses then. Few boys. Father was always into a few syndicates, and sure, it's great. Like, there's nothing better than going to Punchestown or Leopardstown at Christmas and meeting friends, and always Galway was the festival. I'd always have said that I'd rather have a Galway winner than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose just going back, touching on the GAA career, I want to just ask a bit of a question there. Like, one of my sporting idols growing up was Kate Curran.
That's lunatic, yeah.
Absolute madman. But is he as mad, I suppose, outside of the football field as he is inside?
Oh, worse. He absolutely, he's I used to sit beside it. We all used to, because we were playing for a long time, we used to all have this dressing room, like in our spot in the dressing room before training, before matches, and he hadn't played for a few years, and I'd kind of taken the spot near the door, maybe because I was last in the door into training. I was probably watching the 7:45 in Dundalk, racing down for 8 o'clock training or something. But yeah, so last in the door, but I had to move away from him because he was such a psycho and header. Like, even before training or match, he'd be baiting lads around, going around hitting boxes and hitting walls. And yeah, he was some keeper. We used to have him, he used to be down maybe half an hour before training, and there'd be 20 fellas with a football on the 21-yard line, and just bang, bang, bang. And unless you skimmed it in off the post or crossbar, even at that, you weren't guaranteed. He was just a ridiculous keeper now. He's mad, man.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the best anyway, and he definitely lived up to the expectation of the mad keeper anyway. But I suppose,
and people are on about Cluxton as well, about his kickouts. He was doing that around the same time. His kickouts were ridiculous.
Even beforehand, he was always his kickouts were ridiculous. Just, I suppose, going back to the All Ireland that you won with the club. Obviously, look, at me being a Portumna man, we've had our fair share of success as well with the hurlers, but with the footballers, with yourself, did you realise, say, back in 2013 when you started out the championship, that you had a realistic chance of, I suppose, making it up the steps of Croke Park and lifting the All-Ireland Cup?
I suppose we won our first Connacht title in 2006, 2007, and beat Crossmaglen beat us in 2007 in the All-Ireland, and then we had 2 stale years with Roscommon, and then like we won the next 3 Connachts in a row. We lost to Crossmaglen in 2011 in the final by 3 points. We lost to Gary Castle, our neighbours, in the All-Ireland semi-final the year before. And then I suppose we got Kevin McStay and Lee McHale and Benny O'Brien in, and we just knew that it was probably going to get to the next level. Lads were just, we probably underachieved as a team. But it was such an advantage when we were going well. It was like we were really looking at a county final as a Connacht quarter final, or like we were starting our training a bit longer. We knew that we just had enough in Roscommon. Now we were expecting, and most of our hardest games came in Roscommon. But like we were trying to peak for a Connacht semi-final, and then take that break and come again. We were a very experienced team, and it would have been devastating if we didn't get across. We're probably, as I said, it was great to get the 1, but I would say as a team we underachieved.
Yeah, which you look at, like that's nearly always the case with some teams anyway. There's always, I suppose, a bit of seconditis with them, like. But I suppose just going back to the racing angle there now. I suppose when you started off, when you went to the sales, was it November 2019? Was it?
Yeah, November. I'm actually out in Abu Dhabi, and it's a small world. Like I literally just got a notion in my head. I came out here nearly to get away from the horses. I had 2 horses, and we came out here to try and save a bit of money for a house, and sure, a few years away from the horses, and I'll come back at it again strong. I was never going to leave it full time, but sure, it's worse out here. We were finished school before the racing even starts, so it's So you have your days done, and then coming home, and sure, the racing is on then, and you can sit down and you relax. Where back home, you get a tip or you get something, and you'll be in the middle of a class and it's during the day, and you'd be itching then for the next 10 minutes, how are you going to get this on or whatever. But out here you're comfortable. But just I suppose going back to Skyace in terms of just out of blue, just text Shark. I had horses with Shark 2 previous years in 2016. A few of us from Roscommon had a horse called Simidium, and we bought him. I actually was over visiting my mother on holidays. I was top of the Burj Khalifa on her hotspot, texting Shark, ringing him, did you buy that horse medium? He was a 9-year-old. We bought it for 4,000. 4 days later, he won the Ladies Fairy House Grand National in, November time? Rachel Blackmore claiming £7 against her own, so it was an absolute steal. And I suppose the buzz we got from that day was like a good story. I'm good friends with my principal back home now, but I told him that I was going to the dentist, and didn't think we were going to win the race. But anyway, didn't Johnny Ward do an interview, and here I was in the Roscommon jersey and the back of the Irish Independent the next day, Roscommon Stars win this, and I was like, oh no. So I had to go into the principal. I was like, he goes, don't worry, I seen it. And he goes, I'm more annoyed you never told me to back it.
Oh, stop.
So, yeah.
But yeah, no, I was just going to go on to that that sort of question there now. Just like what really caught you with Skyace, and I suppose like what drew you to Shark Hanlon as opposed to say other trainers in Ireland, like obviously with Ireland being such a well-renowned, I suppose, racing nation, like there's so many great trainers and everything else like that, but like what in particular, I suppose, drew you to Shark Hanlon?
I suppose my father had syndicates with him years previously and had stopped maybe in the late 2000s. And I had memories of going there, and we just texted him out of the blue messing. After the Galway races, we were up in Galway one night, and I emailed him. I was like, great to meet you, Shark, yesterday. I hadn't been even at the races. I was like, oh, geez, thanks very much for that winner. Fair play to you. As you remember now, if you have anything, let us know. And he was like, how are you, Cathal? Jeez, it was lovely meeting you. I hadn't met the fella at all. We were only looking for a tip off him or something. So we knew he was up for a bit of crack anyway. So anyway, text him anyway, rang him and went down, and sure, this lad is lovely and that lad is lovely. And like he brought us in and showed us the whole yard, showed us working out all the horses, kept us for about 3 or 4 hours, brought us in for the mug of tea the mother had. like the braid out, and anytime like any ever go down there, like it's a 3 or 4 hour showing everything, like so friendly, like it's just big how I love a rogue, like, but he's able to, like, he's great crack for syndicates, and yeah, so I suppose that's what brought me back to him. It was just like he's ideal for a syndicate. I can ring him anytime, I suppose, about a horse. Once the owners are on, like I'll ring him maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'll just say, here, are you trying? Are you going today? What's the story? Is the ground near situation? Do you fancy it? And like he'll tell you once the owners are on or whatever, you know. So like that kind of information where you wouldn't get that with the bigger trainers, and that's fine. They've like 200, 300 horses. They couldn't be expecting every owner to be ringing them, and that's, I suppose, they're at a different level in terms of what they're looking at. But yeah, so it was mainly like the crack and whatnot, like we had with them. For example, we were down Kilkenny at a good mate of mine, Donny Shine's stag, and I text him with no horse with him at all. I text him, come in here for an hour. We're in Kilkenny. I'd stopped now. 2 horses had finished. Came in, had 2 pints, and sure, he was like, you know, everyone having a joke with him. But he left, and he left a 500 tab for the whole lot of us. Didn't know anyone, knew nothing, like just, you know, a lads fella up for the crack. And you know, that's what you want when you get into racing. Like, you know, when you get into low level stuff, like you're not in it to make money as such. Like you're in it for the enjoyment. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's definitely, like that definitely left a long lasting impression on you, I'd say, with the tab anyway. But just going back to the Bird in Hand Syndicate, there's 4 of you in it. Who are the other 3 lads, and like what sort of backgrounds have they got? Just, I suppose it'd be unfair to not mention them, really.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I will get them in. So you have Shark that owns 10%. You have Mick Delaney owns 10%, so they've split their share, and then the rest then is divided between myself, Kevin Crane, who's from Wexford, big Wexford racing and country down there. He's out here in Abu Dhabi with me. Then he has a mate that I've actually never met, only met him through like phone calls and Zooms, Curl Sutton. So Kevin and Curl would have went to Cheltenham for years, I think like the last 10 years, and of course when they have a horse they can't go. But anyway, and then the last then is Bresley, Kieran Breslin from Donegal. He's out here in Abu Dhabi with me. So yeah, Kieran is more of a flat man, and the rest of us will be more national hunt men.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose just going back to Skyace there now, like the performance she put in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle there this year, like, was absolutely incredible. Like, for, I suppose, the expectation that, like, or the lack of expectation she was always faced with, like, for her price tag, to put in such a great performance against, I suppose, Irish and English, the top Irish and English novice mares in both countries, like. But could we realistically see her maybe going for like a mare's hurdle say next year, or do you think it's within the rights to say that she's definitely in with a serious shout?
Yeah, so just going back to the Cheltenham race, like it cost us €4,400 to bring Skyace over and back and enter the horse and whatnot. So like the days of bringing a horse over just for having a run in Cheltenham are probably gone. Like there was some outrageous costs there between taxes and Brexit and stuff like that. So that's probably a reason, like, we only found out after why there were such small fields. But then going back to Skyace, like, we knew that she had a chance, but only the last horse that was carrying top weight, 11.7, to come in the top 6 in the last 6 years is Lorena. So we knew that we were carrying top weight. We knew the kind of pressure that she was going to be under. But we said that if she was there with a chance, that, like, we always thought her stamina, like, she's a 2 mile 4 filly. 2 miles is just like, she traveled, like, we never expected her to travel as well as she did. And so we were really happy, but we were still realistic. I have always said that before the race, I was like, top 5 have a chance. We had a pup here in Abu Dhabi, rammed, and it would have been the most awkward place in the world if she was tailed off. And it was funny enough, everyone that actually knew they were racing had her back to 3 places anti-post from the weeks going by. And anyone that didn't know anything about racing, backed her on the day and got 4 places at 28 to 1. So there, what do we know? But so that was so plan is 2 weeks in Fairy House, 2 mile 4, carrying level weights with everyone. You don't know who's going to turn out from Cheltenham. I presume Willie has kept some horses just for this race. It's a 100,000 race, 60k for the winner. We think that it's her ideal trip. She'll be carrying level weight. If Shark says she's straight, but it's just something that I think I think she prefers going that other way as well. Even though Shark said once she's straight, it doesn't matter what way she goes. I suppose he knows more than me. But yeah, she goes with a chance. She's come out of the race really well. And then after that, then probably punches down against the boys. There's no mares race, and probably Galway Hurdle. The last year's Galway Hurdle, second was rated 136. The fourth was rated 135. We're currently rated 135. You'd be hoping that to be a top weight like Armand or something like that we'd be coming in at the bottom weight. If we were to collect a few pound and go up another few pound, it might help us as well. And then, like Shark was on about, there's a race in America in October called in Fair Hills. I don't know anything about it, but he mentioned briefly. So when we bought this horse for 600, like potentially she's won like down royal against the champion, bumper third. You know, the Ballard Ebedet race and grade 3, fourth in Cheltenham, running a Group 1, punches down, Galway Hurdle, maybe to America. Like, where would you get it? Like, where? Like, stop.
It's the
you have to pinch yourself at times. Yeah, you have to pinch yourself.
Yeah, like 100%. Like for €600, like you'd be expecting, say, to go to local tracks, say Roscommon, Galway, Kilbeggan, these sorts of places. Like you wouldn't expect to even be grazing the grass at Cheltenham. Never mind going there with a realistic chance. But I suppose just going back to say your involvement with Shark, you actually run a few more syndicates with Shark as well. So
it's kicked off, so it has big time in terms of there's about maybe I think 8 syndicates now. Not all with Skyace, but there's I have a cousin over in New York who's a bartender. He's now down in Florida, but there's about 10 bartenders in a horse. Their horse called Balbec. Then there's another horse called Fenta Dezova. We bought her out Willie Mullins. We're quite hopeful that she could be the Skyace of this year in terms of we're keeping her for the summer campaign, and her aim will be the Down Royal race the Skyace won last year, and if she's good enough to compete in that, we'll go to Cheltenham with her. She, I was looking at there, someone put it up in the group. I gave this kind of plan and an itinerary, and one of the boys in the group then, I think, emailed Boyle Sports looking for a price for the Mayor's Novice, and she hasn't even won a race yet. So they could be, she's 25 to 1. Whoever the trader was there, I don't know. Skyace had been a listed winner and a Group 3 winner, and she went off 28 to 1. And Fenta Dezova's never won a race, and she's 25 to 1 a year out. So I don't know who's doing the pricing there. But then I have a horse then with, I suppose, my father and a few of the Bridget's fellas. Could be a Galway flat horse, maybe a horse called Galileo. Mullins Cross then with a few boys out here in Abu Dhabi. Poeta is another horse. Yeah, really good team of horses going this year. Did I think I'd have 7 or 8 horses in terms of syndicates? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, like
it's all on the back of Skyace. Like, it's just crazy. Like Shark ran me with another horse today, an absolute steal, and I'm like, I get shot if I syndicate this one back home. But some value. Like, in fairness, he's some man to buy a horse for value. Like, I don't know where he gets. He just gets this inside scoop. I don't know. It's ridiculous, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like, but like when you look back, say November 2 years ago, like I can only imagine like you couldn't expect to see where you are there today. But look at I could go on all day talking to you, Cathal, but I leave it up to say me 2 other co-hosts there now, Ryan or Dean, whichever one of you wants to take over there now.
Yeah, Cathal, just on that, like, what kind of excitement was it for you lads there at Cheltenham last week?
Like, we were in this bar called Victor's, and it's an Irish bar, and Mick Lake is an Irish fella, and he runs it, like, a really good job. And so kind of turned it into a bit of a racing bar out here. Anytime she's running, we're there. But I mean, the place was like, it was like we were actually at it. He had it on all the screens. The racing would be more flat out here, and it wouldn't really be shown in the bars, more soccer and whatnot. But like, I mean, everyone was in there to watch the race. Could have been 200, 300 people in there. And when she was running, like, and she was coming there with a chance, I never thought during the race she had a chance of winning, but I thought she'd place, and the place literally got up out of her seats. And like after the race, then the whole place started clapping. And sure, it was just a nice old feeling. It was like, I don't know, it was a bit of a sense of relief, because we knew that so many people had been there and they were coming to look at her, and we had kind of organized the whole thing, and just like, she ran her heart out, and it would have been just a shame if like she was tailed off or something like that, you know.
Yeah, and just speaking about it, like, you know, Jodie's given her a couple of fantastic rides in the past. Like, you know, what do you make of Jodie? You know, as a good man to have on board.
Yeah, unreal. Like, he gets on with her so well. Like, so recently I've like started texting Jodie here and there, wishing him well, thanking him for the ride, and he just texts me after the race. He goes, "What a queen she is! Like, she gave me some feel." He goes, "Roll on Ferryhouse in 2 weeks' time. If she comes out this race, she will do very well." But like, he's a bit of crack. Like, we had a bit of a Zoom, and he joined it, and he was able for the crack, and like, he's very level-headed, but he's like, we're able to associate with him, I suppose. But like, that ride he gave in Down Royal when she won, beat Queensbrook, like, we thought we were going to be tailed off after 6 furlongs out, and like, the ride he got her to get her up there, give him weight away, ridiculous ride. Yeah, he's been really, really good, like, from day one. So yeah, he probably wasn't supposed to win her on the first day in Tipperary, but other than that, we would compliment him.
Yeah, I know Jodie. I don't know him well now, but I know him from time to time being at the races. Like, and you know, he's from up around or where I'm from, but he's living down the country now many years. Like, but like, it's great for me seeing like said himself, and even like there, you know, you've the R brothers and that, you know, Donegal, that's doing really well. Like, you know, and for me, like, I actually texted Jodie last week as well, just to wish him good luck, because I just thought, like, you know, this could be a massive story, like, and it would be great to see. But like, I always like to see him doing well, and I hope to God now come Ferryhouse that he gets the job done for you, like.
Oh, well, it's Jodie's ride until I'd say JP has something better. You know, like, we'll never, no matter what, and he'll be riding all my horse. Like, he's going to be riding most of Shark's horses this year. You know, like, he's been sensational since he moved to Shark's Yard. There's a young jockey as well called Shane Fenlon that Shark will be raving about as well, and he actually rides out Skyace. So, you know, Shark, in fairness to him, brought Conor O'Farrell through years ago, brought Rachel Blackmore through. You know, he's a great fella to bring jockeys through, and he gives them great opportunities where they mightn't get it with other yards, I suppose. But yeah, no, we're like, Jodie's top man. He gets on so well with her, and yeah, I certainly don't know. I've never sat on a horse, and I wouldn't tell him how to ride or what to do. You know, he's his own man. He's a professional, and you know, once he's safe and sound and he's happy with the ride, we're happy.
Yeah. Just Cal, for anybody that is watching, and what would your recommendation be for anybody that's looking to get involved in racing? You know, would your advice be maybe set a syndicate up themselves, or join some clubs, or try and get into yards like you had with Shark, and then go from there?
Yeah, so I heard Jack Cantlin talking there recently, and he's done syndicates, and it's more of a full-time job. Like, all the syndicates that I do are cost price or charges, and I gather the money and I give it to the boys at Shark, and we gather them with it. It's all very transparent and whatnot, and I do it just for the love of the game. You know, and it's just nice to get fellas, and I never intended to be running these 7 or 8 horse syndicates. Like, it's time consuming, like, to sign up a syndicate and do all the forms and everything. It could take a couple hours, and then you have to do a code of conduct and agreements and taking money in and all that kind of stuff. It is time consuming, but I love it. That's what gets me out of bed. So yeah, it all depends on what you want. Like, anyone that comes into a syndicate with me, it's kind of like 5%, 10%, maybe 20%. There's no one really more than 20% owners. where like other syndicate groups there, I think Seven Worlds, is it Seven Worlds? I'm not sure, but they have like they have a numbers game to make it very affordable where you have a number of horses. But it doesn't matter. It's whatever you can financially afford yourself once you're involved, because like I'll never, like even though Skyace has given me some of the greatest days, but I'll never have that feeling that we had when Smidium won the Fairy House. It was the first winner. It was like a drug. It was like, this is just unbelievable. Now it helped that we all had it back to 16-1 as well, and we got a fair investment back. But like it was just, this was like, I couldn't understand it. Like I know Skyace and has given us that and has been very close, and but just you're always looking. Like I suppose a Group 1 winner is probably, like if she was to win in 2 weeks' time, that'd be the next best thing, I suppose.
Yeah, and whenever you're talking about, would you be ever interested in running her on the flat? Say over some of them staying trips at the likes of Royal Ascot and things like that. There, would that ever cross your minds?
I don't think that would ever. Even though she runs keen and she looks like she has a bit of speed, but Shark always like she trains shocking at home. Like at the minute she's put into a lorry, she knows she's on, and like that's why we have to start bringing her to the Curragh like the weeks going before. And I was just like, 2 days before we were doing it in Dunninga where he normally trains, and the horses are beating her by 10-15 lengths in like aisle 2. And then she's beating them by, when she gets into the lorry, she's beating them by 15 lengths, pulling up. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. But anyway, they always say that those that train at home aren't always the best. Yeah. But she knows where to bring it. But yeah, he never once suggested that she would be suitable for the flat. It was always a 2 mile 4. Like 3 miles is out of the question in the top league. She just doesn't stay that far. Yeah. So 3 mile, 2 mile 3, 2 mile 4, 2 mile 5 at a push.
Yeah, that's Jane, have you anything?
Have you any suggestions of races for us, actually?
No, there is one. Just when I mentioned about the Ascot one, like there is a good staying race at Ascot. It's just been won by plenty of good horses down the years, like. But just whenever you say in there she's a 2 mile 4 horse, sometimes they can, if they mix it over both courses, they can be pretty good. Wally Mullins won it a few times with Thomas Hudson, I think, was it? And he always takes a couple over for it.
We'll do an agreement with Tom Mullins. If he keeps Princess Zoe away from the mare's horses, we keep away from the flat races. So
well, that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah, she'll take fair beating in some of them staying races if she's like, especially a soft ground.
Yeah.
But look at Cathal, just I suppose to finish things off, like I suppose just going back to like when you started off, like for €600, I suppose the expectations were really little to none. But now I suppose that you've tasted success and great success at that. Is there anything that you would like to potentially win, say in the future, say going forward? If you got, say, the right horse going, say for maybe like Champion Hurdle, Champion Chase, maybe even say the likes of a Grand National, something like that. Is there anything that's really calling out to say, Jesus, yeah, I'd really like to win that?
Any race in Galway during the festival. Any race in Galway. So yeah, you'll see all my horses. They'll be the horses around syndicates. They have basically, so it's bird in the hand. So like I have a horse called Budgie in the hand. I have a horse syndicate named Big Bird in the hand, Sleepy Bird in the hand. So anything like that, it's kind of a syndicate that I'm running. And hopefully you will see lots of entries for Galway this year. I would say a horse to look out for Galway is Dalileo on the flat in Galway, and hopefully Fenta de Zoba will be hovering around at the listed level, whether it's in Galway or throughout the year. But yeah, any winner in Galway. I suppose you don't want to get too big, or in terms of too far ahead of you. We have a horse there, another mare there called Mullins Cross, and like we're like, like lads, everyone has this dream of like Cheltenham, and when I was able to show everyone the bill of bringing Skyace there, like we're lucky that the money that Skyace has won this year and the returns we've got. But like having the syndicate and paying their fees and then asking someone to pay $4,500 just to have a runner in Cheltenham, yourself, like it's a numbers game too, and you're trying to keep it affordable. And like I suppose if you're going to tell him you want to be on a horse that has a chance, or that you think that has a realistic chance, like, or a horse that even has won throughout the year, that you could take it from the HRI winnings, that you could take that out. It's not like coming out of the boys' pockets. Probably harder to take that if I was texting the boys and we didn't have the money there to, lads, by the way, you owe me what, €1,000 each there. It was a great experience, but but yeah, ideally a race in Galway. A horse there, Galileo, was 5th or 6th to Princess Louis of 84 last year, and rated 75 now. And hopefully with a bit of a swing and we train, that'd be nice. I'm fenced in for the year.
Was he bought out of Johnny Murder's yard, Galileo?
Yeah. I bought him. We bought him out of the. Yeah, so it was 10,000 claimer. Them claimer races are great. Tried to buy that Tontonese as well.
Tontonese.
Race member, there was about 63 claims in for 500,000. He went for the sales. He'd be worth 20,000 alone. And we had heard that he jumps a hurdle too, so he's probably a horse to watch out. I hope any new owners don't get onto me. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but you're like that's basically it. Have you anything else, Dean, or will we finish up?
No, that's all good for me now.
Yeah, but look, thanks again for your continued support, everyone that's tuning in and liking, sharing, subscribing, everything you're doing. Thanks to Dean and Ryan for the time that he was there, but thanks again to Cathal for taking time out of his busy schedule to come on board with us, like say, for the short notice that we gave him. But Cathal, look, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Look, hopefully coming into the summer jump season now, you get more luck with the likes of Skyace and the rest of your horses, and hopefully look at the dream lives on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, it's great. Like it's fantastic. Like, I suppose they're all the families related, and even people there. There's not into horse racing at home. She kind of has captured the country in terms of horse racing with people that are interested, and it shows that it can be done for that money. Like it's £600. What is it, 12 or 1,300 then a month training fees. It's very much doable if there's a group of fellas there that don't want to give it a go. Winning, like as I said, probably still the biggest feeling or the best feeling I've got is winning with Simidium, and after buying him, winning that Fairy House with Rachel, winning by about 30 lengths or whatever it was. So like that adrenaline or drug of when your horse wins, there's no better feeling. And I just encourage people, through tough times, like it brought a lot of excitement to people that we know, and it's something that people should consider. But always don't get into it to get rich. Anyway, I can tell you that it's an expensive hobby. That's what you should be thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, sure. Look, that's it. Look, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And hopefully we'll see you all again next week.